Since 1990, the NASCAR Busch Series has run here at New Hampshire International Speedway. But today, there's another concern to deal with. There's a major threat of rain during the running of the Gumout 200. Taking a look at the weather conditions right now, the temperature is in the high 50s with a dew point at 52. There's a chance of fog and, yes, a chance of showers. But the bottom line is we are set to go racing for the NASCAR Busch and Busch North Series. Hi, everybody. I'm Eli Gold. Welcome to New Hampshire International Speedway. So many of the drivers who are racing here today have never been to this racetrack. But, Buddy Baker, that's not bothered them in preparation. The youngsters have found a new way to learn.
Absolutely. Would you believe computer game number 2, NASCAR? They go out, they can actually run the track not being here, make mistakes without tearing up cars, and know something about the racetrack by a computer game. That's what it's gone to.
But the bottom line
Shout
is
out
still the youth
iRacing.
and Dr. Dick Bergman. Some very interesting names in the top 10 qualifiers today.
It's a very unusual field. Of the top 5 guys in today's field, 3 of them have never won a race in this series. Indeed, 2 of them, between those 2 guys, have just got 10 starts in this series. And that could lead to either a real upset winner today or a real big crash.
Now, we do have 2 races for you today. 200 laps for the NASCAR Busch Series, 100 laps for the NASCAR Busch North Series, their 3rd event of the year. Let's check out some of the pertinent facts and figures today. The AutoZone prep for the race, brought to you by the more than 1,900 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And yes, Mike McLaughlin, who has run so very well here in so many different types of race cars, is also in the field today, so he's one we'll be talking about. As to who everybody else is, let's check out the Duralube starting grid, brought to you by Duralube. Tomorrow's technology today. 2nd pole in the series for Joe Bessie.
This will be Dad's second race with Tim Fedewa at Base Motorsports.
Start of the year. Wayne Grubb, local favorite Andy Santerre. Elliott Sadler, who won at Bristol, and the series champion Randy LaJoie. Robert Presley, 200th career start in the series for Bill Parsons. Happy birthday, Tim Fedewa, celebrates here today. On down the line, there's Tony Stewart, heads to Indianapolis tomorrow, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., his first ever start here. How about Ed Berrier, buddy? Here's a guy who did so well at Hickory.
First time ever he won at Hickory, and I tell you what, momentum's on his side.
Can anybody handle Mike McLaughlin, Dick?
He's had a lot of problems with the car, but they think they've got it sorted out, and he sure knows this racetrack, Eli.
And, of course, veteran Dick Trickle is there. Stanton Barrett is in the 50 this week, subbing still for the injured Jimmy Foster. Geoff Purvis on down the line. Patty Moise qualifying in row number 16. Christopher, the number 13. He's good from up here, Dick.
Oh, they love him here. He is a win-em-a-wreck-em kind
Ted
of
was
racer,
like a
he's got lot
hero
of
of the SK
Hutter with an accident yesterday.
modifieds.
Jason Jarrett with an accident yesterday.
Of all the NASCAR tracks, I would say this is one I've been probably the most.
On the grid. The field completing
Only
the first
because
of
I'm
3
from
warm-up laps
New England
on a very
originally.
chilly day here in New Hampshire. While we've got a chance, let's go trackside. Glenn Jarrett.
Hey, thanks, Eli. You know, there's a couple of young guys right up front that we're going to keep our eye on today. First of all, on the outside of the first row, starting second, Casey Atwood, the 17-year-old from Nashville, Tennessee. Incredible story about this young man. Sat on the pole at Nashville, finished second. He hopes to reverse that today. He could win this race. Meanwhile, back on row 3 on the outside, starting 6th, Andy Santerre, a New England native. He has over 2,500 miles experience on this racetrack. Would love nothing better than to win in front of the New England fans. Joining me on pit road today, here's Matt Yoakum.
Well, Glenn, Maine's Joe Bessie hunts momentum-building performance from the pole. He has 3 Busch North victories here in Loudon, but he's never won a Busch Grand National South win here on the Magic Mile. Today, starting well deep in the field is the defending winner,
I think I've been to
He's got 6 victories on the Magic Mile.
NHIS.
Today, Magic Shoes begins his run to repeat
91,
in the
92,
22nd position.
93.
Eli?
So there are just some of the
96
stories
and
we'll be
97.
following for
So
you over the
about
course of the day today here at the New Hampshire International Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire. Before we go any further, want to say a big hello to a couple of gentlemen who aren't with us here today. One is the president of this racetrack, Gary Bear. Gary is recovering from some medical problems, and I know is watching this telecast today. And Gary, we look forward to seeing you back here at the Magic Mile when we come back here in just a few weeks' time. Also, a big hello to Bill Bumgardner. He is the owner of the Base Motorsports team. That's the Randy LaJoy, Tim Fedowa cars. He had a mild heart problem earlier in the week. He's already back home after a visit to the hospital. But, Bill, you're being missed up here. Everybody wants to say hello. And in a personal note, happy anniversary to my wife, Claudette. 21 years we've been together, and typical in this business. I'm up here, she's in Alabama, but sweetheart, happy anniversary.
Congratulations to you, and also to Greg Sachs on the mend in Florida. Greg, we're thinking about you and know you'll be back at the racetrack pretty soon. He was injured in Texas in a pretty severe wreck there.
The lights are just coming back on atop the safety car, so we are not going green this time by. There you see Dick Trickle and the onboard camera that he'll be riding us around the speedway in today.
Prior to New Hampshire opening, the way that we listened to NASCAR races in New England, no joke, nobody had it on TV. Even if it was on TV in the South, it wasn't up north. Almost every time the Busch race, they would never live for the early 90s, and we would drive to this little side of the road picnic table pull-off area, little picnic area in Jaffrey, New Hampshire, and we could catch the, you know, the MRN broadcast that was coming out of Concord, New Hampshire, even after like the beginning of this race being made. I think this track was made in like 91. New England winters are so harsh. I'm talking frost heaves like 2 feet high, like super wreck your car kind of frost heaves. And so tracks like this need a lot of maintenance in New England.
You've got the trickle-down effect and the non-trickle-down effect.
Hermie Sadler has stopped on pit road. There's trouble with the engine. The hood is up on that car.
Hermie had a problem here in practice yesterday. Car just didn't get the grip coming off the corner and spun. Had no damage done, but he's going to be on pit road as the field gets set to go green. Green flag is in the air and we are racing. The Gum Out 200 underway in a car quickly in the wall and problems on the main straightaway.
What on earth? Come on,
that is Setzer sitting right there. Looked like Buckshot Jones.
Oh, Lord.
Ended up in the wall as they gunned it for the start, buddy.
That happens a lot of
This
times.
kind of
The lead
stinks.
cars come down, kind of brake before they get on the accelerator. Dennis Setzer on the front straightaway backwards on the oncoming traffic as they come off turn 4. Everybody sees him. The caution is out.
So Joe Bessie will take the caution, lap number 1, after problems on the start. And the shot we had looking right back up the main straightaway, Dick, you probably saw the guys quickly shuffling towards the wall. And we'll have to take another look, buddy.
Eli, usually what happens is the lead cars will not go when everybody's anticipating a start, and further back in the group, it's like a chain reaction on a freeway. As you get back through the field, you have less time to get on the brakes, and it just collects a lot of cars.
So we are under caution now.
I wonder what the driver thinks at that point. You know, like everybody's like in go mode. Why y'all so tight? God. Boom, someone drove right in the ass.
Yeah, who might have gotten hit by somebody as well.
Yeah.
You could see back in the back there, about halfway back, the oncoming cars were expecting a start, and they started accelerating, and all of a sudden they realized that the green hadn't come out. So that's what happened on that particular wreck.
That is Dennis Setzer.
Like on the highway when you're at like a stop and go, like for something on the highway, right?
We're coming right back.
You don't just like when everybody's okay to go through, you don't just stomp the gas.
Welcome back to New Hampshire. That is
And that's
Stanton
what
Barrett,
everybody
who
did.
is driving
Stomp
for
the
the
gas.
Foster, and as you can see, the
Green.
member team is running,
Oh,
although
my God.
somewhat beaten up on this first lap
Tunnel vision.
accident that came right to the start-finish line. Let's look at it again, guys, from some of the in-cars. Matt Hutter in the Stanley machine was right around this, and let's see what he saw. Now there goes Christopher across the middle in the 13, and he took out Setzer. Something else keyed all of that, though.
Yeah, you know, everybody knows the rain is coming, and they're all so anxious to get this thing going, and you could see it at the back of the pack. Just cars going inside, outside. Everybody's trying to get into that first turn as quickly as possible, and that's not a good way to start the race. And you know, it's so bizarre. We're all worried about finishing this thing. We can't get it started.
Eli, what happens there is that you have a spotter up on the top of the grandstand, and once he thinks the green's coming out, he says, green, 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 and the guys start accelerating back in the pack there, and a lot of times you get swept into something because you don't actually see the flag out yet.
Now, Ted Christopher has taken his car behind the wall. Dennis Setzer was towed behind the wall, and Hermie Sadler, who never
Why
did
do the
take
spotters
the green,
not
we saw him
say
up the
back
road
it down?
before. He's been pushed
I mean,
to the garage
they
area,
listened to the
and we'll be
spotter, and
getting
he
a
said,
report
go, go, go,
on,
and there was
all
like
of those
nothing
teams
else.
here very, very shortly, but tough start for a
It's
number
just
of
so
these
easy to
teams
say
here
back it down.
in the Gumout 200.
Got a feel for Setzer. This was his first start of the year. He's been doing a lot of testing for Bill Elliott, but this was his first opportunity in 1998 to get into a race car.
A brain can really only process one command at a time. But multitasking, you know, of course, we can switch left brain, right brain. But if you tell a driver, go left, go right, they're going to automatically maybe do that. But to leave them that instinct, just say, back it down. And then they can decide which way to go.
Richmond, Nazareth, and Watkins Glen just wanted seat time not to come today. Green flag. We're back racing lap 5. Joe Bessie is the leader. Dale Earnhardt Jr. going to the outside. Way to the outside.
Eli, that's a dangerous place to be on this racetrack right now. They do not have a second groove. You can see the guys go down and give way as you see right there. Casey Atwood in 28 takes over second. Back here, Earnhardt fighting on the outside. At the moment, he has a little momentum through the upper turn there, but 1 and 2 is definitely the low part of the racetrack is quick.
Elliott Sadler there in that black 66 all the way to the inside, grabs the position from the 74 Randy LaJoy. So Elliott now up into the 7th position.
Yeah, but then he lost it.
Then he loses it to Robert Presley.
Yeah, you don't want to be up high on this racetrack right now. They get some rubber down later in the race and it'll be okay, but right now upstairs is not the place to be.
Riding with Phil Parsons, looking rearward from 9th place. The 17 is Matt Kenseth. The 3 directly behind Phil Parsons, that's Dale Earnhardt Jr. 33 is Tim Fedewa.
And just behind them, Tony Stewart in the yellow nose car that you can see in the background there. These guys are really going at it. This is a quick way. Right on the bottom of the racetrack. As you sweep out, you can see the outside groove there. Coming off the corner, they have good momentum, but through the center part, they lose a lot.
While we watch this battle, Matt, how about an update on Hermie Sadler's problems?
The DeWalt team is searching over the 29 car for the Gremlin. It appears something is amiss in the fuel system. They've changed the fuel line. Still, that hasn't fixed it. It appears that Hermie Sadler's monkey has grown to a gorilla, so more bad luck for Hermie. It's a shame. He had a good car today. He was hoping for a good run.
Really was. Too bad there for Hermie. And they had a spin yesterday, though they were able to continue. That's kind of the same car they had at Bristol. Kind of, I say, because it has a new rear cliff and a whole new body after that accident there in Bristol when he was running 9th. Good battle now behind Earnhardt, who's in the 3. Fedewa, 33. Kenseth, 17. That yellow, black, and white, number 44, Tony Stewart.
Fedewa's birthday today, and they changed the decor of his race car. His name used to be over the door where he went in. Now it's his birthday boy.
That's Tony Stewart. You're looking through the side camera there as they go down the straightaway down towards turn 3.
That's a racer.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, he's happy they're running here today with the threat of rain because tomorrow he has to be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the start of practice. And Jeff Fuller, had this race been delayed by rain, Jeff Fuller would have been the driver in that shell car tomorrow.
And tonight he's going to be in Kentucky racing a dirt late model.
Remarkable.
It really is.
That end car camera there, that was, you can see the 17 car there. Matt Kenseth, winner at Rockingham earlier this year, his first ever Busch Grand National win.
52 is Kevin Grubb right there in that battle that you see for 15th spot. Lance Hooper is in the 23. He was also in that mix.
Oh, don't do it.
There goes Grubb to the inside of Kenseth. 14th spot, swapping hands right there.
I think right now Matt Kenseth is having a little handling problem. He's not able to stay on the lower part of the racetrack. You can see him dropping back after a great run right at first.
Hooper goes by. We're on board with Kevin LePage and the Channel Lock Chevrolet there seconds ago. He's in the 40. 77 is Ed Berrier, the winner at Hickory. 13 laps complete of 200. Heavy overcast, big threat of rain. But the good news is the wind is blowing out of the north, keeping that rain somewhere off the coast and down towards the Boston way. Do I sound like a weather guy?
You do a good job, man.
Yeah, you are.
You definitely know more than the New England weather, man. I'll tell you that.
All sorts of cumulonimbuses flying around, stuff like that. There goes Mike McLaughlin in the 34, Mike Dillon in the 72, also bypassing Kenseth again, guys. As you said, Matt just can't stay and keep it low on the racetrack.
I talked to Robbie Reiser, the car owner, this morning, and they were saying that they just couldn't get the car comfortable for Kenseth. They had worked on it, but, you know, those guys don't have nearly as much experience as many of the other teams, and they have not been able to dial the car in.
The 34 there, Mike McLaughlin, he won here last year in this particular race, and I tell you what, don't count him out. He has a lot of knowledge on this racetrack, and he'll work his way to the front. Joe Bessie, our leader, going down into turn one, right on the bottom of the racetrack, handling very well.
He's there by 1 3/10 seconds now on Casey Atwood. There is Casey in the white machine running in second. Elton Sawyer a strong third. Good run for Santerre, being challenged now by LaJoie right there. That is for 4th and 5th. Give it to LaJoie from Connecticut around Maine's Andy Santerre. But nobody is touching Joe Bessie, Glenn. He's been quick all week.
He absolutely has, Eli. He's been first on every sheet NASCAR has posted so far this weekend. He was the fastest in both practice sessions. He drew first to go out qualifying. He sat on the pole, and he's jumped to a big lead. This is Joe's 100th career Busch Grand National start. It was his second pole. He has 3 Busch North victories here at this speedway, and the car he's running right now is the same car he won with last fall at Dover. So if he's going to pick up another win in front of the hometown New England fans, he's got a mighty good shot at doing it today.
He does that. Good battle for Joe Bessie. Good run right now. Also a good battle ongoing for 10th and 11th right now between Glenn Allen Jr. and Dale Earnhardt Jr. There it is, the 99 and the 3 right there.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. was caught on the outside of the racetrack. Now he's able to keep the car down on the bottom of the racetrack, right in the middle of the corners. You can see very, very strong now.
If you're keeping tabs, Stanton Barrett has returned from the garage 4 laps down. Here comes Dennis Setzer, 17 laps down. He, too, is back from the garage area after that accident on the initial start of the race.
As you're watching Earnhardt Jr. in that number 3 car, you might wonder how he found the line here. And the answer is that Randy LaJoie stuck him in a rental car along with Casey Atwood, and they took some laps around here. And LaJoie said, this is where you want the car to be as they went around the racetrack. I asked Atwood how fast he'd go. He said, "Wasn't slow."
Casey Atwood, very talented young racer, but the man on the move right now is Randy LaJoie. There's the leader, Joe Bessie, but LaJoie is now up to 3rd and challenging here in New Hampshire. Watching the Joe Show. Joe Bessie by 2 2/10 seconds now is the race leader over that man, Randy LaJoie, who when we left you was in 3rd. He is now running in the 2nd spot, and here's how he made the pass on young Casey Atwood moments ago going into the corner.
The white car, Casey Atwood. Look at LaJoie swing to the inside down the front straightaway. Casey sees he has the move, lets him go into turn 1. It's early in the race. Casey did a very, very smart thing.
Glenn Jarrett's been around the Randy LaJoie pit. Glenn?
Well, Eli, I talked to Randy first thing this morning, and I asked him how he ran in practice yesterday. He said, man, I'm ready to go. This is the first time all year I felt racy. I got a car that's going to win the race today. I'm going to the front. And I said, can I quote you on that? He said, quote me on that. I will go to the front. He's radioed into the crew guys that his car feels perfect. And, you know, these guys are showing off. Randy is from Connecticut. His crew chief, Steve Bird, and his co-crew chief, Steve Bird, and Billy Naswood. All these guys are from the Northeast. They're showing off in front of the hometown fans. Meantime, Joe Bessie's crew is talking to him. He's got a little bit of a problem, a little loose in the center of the corner, and is pushing coming off. I got a feeling it won't be long before Randy runs him down.
Well, we'll have to wait and see as we watch now a good battle for 9th place shaping up on the racetrack. There that battle is. It is 9 seconds behind the leader, but you've got Grubb, Allen, then Earnhardt Jr., Fidua, and Tony Stewart in that order. A good battle from 9th position on back.
Looking at Earnhardt Jr. right now, his car very, very quick in the corners. I say down the straightaway, he's just about like everybody else, but boy, in the corner, that car is dynamite. You can see him closing up. Allen is making a great move in the 99, but it seems to me right now that Earnhardt, he's running a drop snout car. For the layman out there that does not know what I'm talking about, that's a better roll center for this type of flat racetrack. It makes it turn better getting in the corner, also in the center. And as it goes along, the drop snout car should have an advantage over the standard regular setup in the corners.
He's got something else going for him, too, and that is the team that's behind him. Last year, Earnhardt's team with driver Steve Park finished second in this event. David Green drove for them the year before. He was third. His dad, Dale Sr., drove here in 1992 and finished second to Joe Nemechek. So these guys absolutely know how to get around New Hampshire Speedway. They do not need a road map.
Jeff Green is driven for that team as well. And interestingly, in the second race today, the Busch North Series Gum Out 100, a number of those cars are former Dale Earnhardt Incorporated race cars. So a lot of heritage, if you will, here today for DEI, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated.
I meant Jeff Green.
Joe Bessie continues to lead. That is the battle for 9th on back that we've been watching. Phil Parsons in 15th, closing in on that pack as well.
Oh, you can see Earnhardt got a little sideways just in. It turned a little too well in the center part of the corner. Tim Fiedler gained about 4 car lengths on him right in the center part of the corner.
Tony Stewart just paying it back there in the number 44 car.
You know, when he ran here in the Indy Racing League event a couple of years ago, he about lapped the world 3 times and then broke with 18 laps to go and never won the race. But that man, when he said it's totally different, obviously, the IRL machines to this NASCAR Busch Series car. But he said, yeah, I love this racetrack. I have a good feel for it. It just takes a little while to get used to the heavier car here. There goes Glenn Allen Jr. with the 99.
IRL in the early 90s, mid 90s, late 90s meant Indy Racing League. So it kind of throws me off when they say IRL nowadays, because I use that a lot as well.
Meanwhile, Joe Bessie continues to pace the field, but now as he puts a lap on Dennis Setzer, his advantage is only 1.8 seconds on a quickly closing Randy LaJoie. We're coming right back. That is Joe Bessie showing the way here. The Gum Out 200 for the NASCAR Busch Series machines here at New Hampshire International. Eli Gold, Dick Bergman, Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett, Matt Yoakum on hand here. Now there's the advantage that all of a sudden Bessie has. He was 1.8 seconds when he went away. LaJoie got caught up in a little traffic moments ago, and it spread things just a touch more. There is Randy now back on. It took him a while to get around Dennis Setzer, and that's where that extra half second of spread came from. But, you know, that car right there is a brand new car, and yesterday they were more concerned with the new car blues. They had a number of little oil leaks, and a lot of times, if you get the chance, teams will take a new car somewhere to Greenville Pickens Speedway or someplace just to shake it down and make sure all the fittings are hooked up right. But they were chasing that oil leak, buddy, yesterday. Just a bunch of new car blues they didn't have a chance to get rid of before they came north.
Eli, that's exactly right. When you're going to run a car in a special event, and this is a special event because Randy LaJoie has not won this year. Very uncommon for that racing team not to have won by this time.
Not even led a lap.
And when you do that, when you go to a racetrack and you run it maybe 100 miles, you really pick up a lot of things that you don't have time in practice to pick up.
Tell you what, he has had such a terrible year so far in 1998, Randy LaJoie. Last year at this point, with 9 races in, he had won twice. This year he hasn't won yet. Last year at this point, he had 5 top 5s. This year he's only got 2. And last year at this point, he had led 407 laps. This year, Goose, none. He's got 3 DNFs already this year. He had none to this point last year.
Let's update you on a couple of stories. Hermie Sadler is now on the racetrack. Finally, the word we're getting from the garage is that they had some water in the fuel lines, and obviously that is conducive to the car not wanting to fire. So they've gotten it all flushed out. He's back on the racetrack. The 17 car, though, is an interesting story. Matt Kenseth, there he is on the right of your screen. Remember, he started back in 14th. And Glenn, now he's back in 27th position, 26th at this second. What's the story there?
Yeah, Eli, and I appreciate that. I follow your directions in your hand real well. I got down here. The guys tell me the car is very, very tight. He just cannot turn the car. What that does here on these flat corners, you have to wait so long to get into fuel, into the throttle, and the straightaway so long, you just never do pick up the RPM. So not only is it killing him in the corners, but also down the straightaway too. They've got the wrenches out, and they're talking down here. They're going to make a major adjustment when he stops. But right now, this cool overcast weather, not doing Matt Kenseth any good at all.
And, buddy, that is not a drop snout car.
That is not a drop snout, but I'll tell you one thing. When you have one pushing like this, you cannot get back in the throttle when the front tires don't get in grip. So you have to stay on the throttle, and it really affects the car down the straightaway, too.
There's 16th on back, Mike McLaughlin. Then you've got Mike Dillon, followed by Lance Hooper. And the Justin Boots car. Good run for Jason Keller here right now. Jason running in 19th position as our friends at Napa bring you NASCAR timing and scoring across the top of the screen. Jason Keller hoping to be able to keep that Justin Boots sponsorship on board for the remainder of the season. There comes Geoff Purvis right in behind him as well in the 4 machine. He's running in 20th spot. Behind the race leader Joe Bessie, and there you see Bessie in traffic, and here comes LaJoie about to put a lap on Kevin Schwantz in the 88. The last time Schwantz ran here was when this was the Breyer Motorsports Park, and he was on 2 wheels on one of his famed motorcycles. For Schwantz, the 1993 World Motorcycle Champion, who has now cast his lot with NASCAR. There he goes a lap down to Randy LaJoie.
Let me tell you what's in Joe Bessie's mind right now as he's weaving his way through traffic. Don't bend the race car. He has crashed the last 5 races, DNF'd in 3 of those races to here. He's been fast repeatedly this year, but the problem has been wrecks. Other people have come out of the wilderness and just taken him out race after race after race, and he knows that is his Achilles heel. So he is being exceptionally careful as he weaves his way through traffic this afternoon.
Classic example of the box score not telling the whole story. He runs awfully well, but just isn't around at the end to show it. You saw him get around Blaze Alexander moments ago, that black and yellow machine that he just put a lap on. Alexander in 33rd spot.
Bessie with 3 Busch North wins here. This is perhaps one of his best racetracks of the whole circuit. Certainly it's a hometown crowd.
Matter of fact, Bessie on the pole for this race. Kelly Moore, who was on the Bud pole for our second race today. Both of them are from the state of Maine, Bessie and Moore. Both running at Beach Ridge Speedway in Maine. However, let us point out, for those of you who are curious as we watch Joe Bessie continue, no one will ever hold the Beach Ridge Speedway track record on dirt other than our own Dr. Dick Bergman. fastest man on dirt in that track's history. Of course, now it's paved. I think your record is probably secure on dirt.
And I hope they never dig up the pavement. It's the only record I've got in all of auto racing.
What did you race in those days?
Sprint cars. Sprint cars. It was a great joint to run a sprint car around. I loved it.
I just wanted to explain there was nothing wrong with Dick Bergman just a second ago. That's the way down south, because the people that are listening up there, that's how they say yeah up here.
Yeah.
Unscheduled pit stop for Mark Kroll while you watch the battle for 4th place on the racetrack. There you see, fading just a bit, Tim Fedowa.
He's got a new crew chief as well. Just joined up with the team at Talladega. Vic Kangas' second race with Tim Fedowa. Trying to turn that team around, see if they can get them up front where they really do belong.
And Butch Enders had been crew chief. His last event was at Hickory.
Eli, I'm looking at Robert Presley in the 59 there. He and Elliott Sadler right now are really running very, very well as they close in on Melvin Sawyer just in front of them there. These guys look like they're working traffic very well.
That was a nice shout out for Dad. I'll have to clip that later.
Back just a little bit.
At 59 and Presley could be a major factor before this day is done and over with. Of the 9 races he has run here, he's led 3 of them for 179 laps. He's won, been second, been 5th, been 7th, 4 top 10s in 8 starts. That's not bad.
I would say not.
Being from New England, my dad is actually in the New England Auto Racing Hall of Fame. So he was well known there, plus the announcers knew him quite well, and I had a feeling they would mention him just simply because he's from this area and most known in New England.
55 laps of 200 are in the books. And remember, weather permitting, we have 2 races for you today. This race followed by a 100-lapper for the NASCAR Busch North Series. From the lead, let's swap back now to Casey Atwood, 28, 38 Elton Sawyer, Robert Presley in the 59, and the 66 Elliott Sadler. That battle now.
They used to run the Busch North and the Busch, you know, the normal southern Busch cars together, and they still did on occasion, but the New Englanders didn't have anywhere near the amount of dollars in their teams as they won. The ones in the South did, mainly for the attention to travel in the Cup. But
He's an amazing young man.
the
He really is. He's just a teenager, still in high school.
decision to run them separate, I guess, is what they did
As well, but he's got
for a lower
tremendous
purse, I guess.
Given the limited experience he has had, particularly in the big leagues.
It's always kind of been a thing. Like, our modifies were always jacked up compared to the Southern, but the Southern full-body cars were always, like, the Xfinity or Sportsman were jacked up compared to the
Gee, who does that look like?
the New England Busch North cars. Now, Oxford Plains Speedway
It's an amazing
runs Busch North a lot and always had. I had probably been to that track in Thunder Road in Vermont the most for the Busch
He
North.
says he really hasn't watched the tapes of his father. He's been to the races
And,
and seen what his father has done. But of all the people I've ever seen try
So
to imitate,
it's
Dale
quite
Earnhardt,
popular
this
up
guy
there,
does
but
it better than anybody.
the modifieds were the big deal. Those are the ones that we went south and like were radical looking compared to the southern mods. Kind of still are in a way, but they're a lot closer than they used to be.
Drove to second place here last year. He was held up by the 99 car, Glenn Allen. Once he got by him, he said his car felt a little more neutral. He was tight following the 99 car. But keep in mind, during pit stops, Robbie Fuller blew out his knee playing basketball at the hotel Thursday night. Tony Uri Sr. will be going over the wall, changing the right rear tires on the pit stops today for Dale Jr.
And there you see, while Matt was talking, Randy LaJoie, for the first time this year, leading a lap in a NASCAR Busch Series race. He made the move around Joe Bessie and blew right on by him. And again, who would have thought May the 9th would be the first lap all year that LaJoie would have led? Watch this power move.
Oh, and I was going to say Oxford Plains used to run cup races back then called Grand National, 1965 and 66, I believe, both. My son's uncle drove in both of them for different people. One was for Soapy Castles. Not sure what the other one was. I'd have to look up the records.
Number 61, for those of you keeping tabs.
The reason I bring up Oxford Plains is Bob Bear and his brother. I didn't know his brother. I had met Bob like as a teenager. Owned Oxford Plains. That owner also built this truck.
He was running a little different groove around the racetrack, changing his line through the corners, and you really can go to school on a guy that's getting around quicker than you. And apparently, you
I was listening to Buddy talk, and it was distracting me.
me.
Now that car next year in '99, Tim Fedewa will drive, and my dad will be there for probably a half a season.
NASCAR just said, boy, he got out there pretty quickly.
And then after that, he'll be putting together that '98 team, and the plan on running 2000, but they never, or 2001, but they never. Well, might be a year in between there. I gotta figure out.
Leading because that kind of secures the jobs of all 5 of us working today's broadcast. Last Saturday night, I went to Riverside.
Fedewa will drive that 36 the following year.
During the Busch North qualifying, I thought I heard a very familiar voice announcing at Riverside Park Speedway. And the more I listened to it, the more it sounded like Steve Bird, crew chief for this car. It was.
Really?
Birdie, yes, Birdie announced qualifying for Busch North. And it turns out, I was not aware of this, but it turns out Birdie had been an announcer for a couple of years working Hudson and Pines. But now this car is leading. Our jobs are secure. Steve Bird's going to stay there turning wrenches. Good.
I can tell you a backstory to that. We joke around that his dad made him an announcer because at Hudson, my dad was in the pits and he was helping on my dad's car and broke his leg. He was 9 years old. He snuck in the pits. So we were joking the other day at coffee that Birdie's dad made him an announcer after he broke his leg in the pits.
And now we've got caution on the speedway. There is the 89, John Preston. He brings out the caution. So John Preston spinning in turn number 2. And this is the second caution flag of the day. It'll fly at lap number 67. Interesting story. That is the car normally driven by Stanton Barrett. It was not on the original schedule to be run up here. Then Preston, who was a local driver from up in the Northeast, said he wanted to run. So a deal was made. And then at that point, Stanton Barrett was available because he wasn't supposed to run here. And then when Jimmy Foster was still recovering, that's what allowed Stanton to get into the 50 car. So a bit of a trickle-down effect there if you're curious as to why Preston is in the 89. That was an add-on race. They weren't originally planning to be here.
I'm seeing smoke coming out of Dale Earnhardt.
Oh yeah, he's blowing up.
You can see it trailing from the back of the car.
White smoke. You know what?
It's the right front.
In stereo. Matt Yoakum.
You guys are indeed correct. Great minds think alike, I guess. He's got a rub on the right front. They're going to pull that out on the pit stop. And as you remember, I said Tony Eury Sr. has come out of retirement. You can see a picture of him getting ready as a 3-car hits his box. They're going to free the car up. A little bit of air pressure adjustment. His car was a little tight in traffic. Let's go down to Glen Jarrett.
And Randy LaJoie has brought the Fina Chevrolet in. They've only changed the right sides. They're on the left sides now. Behind him is his teammate Tim Fedewa, also 4 tires. In front of him, Elliott Sadler. A little bit of trouble on the left side, but LaJoie is down and away. He will keep the lead. Joe Bessie is in the pits, 4 tires and fuel. Also in a wedge adjustment. I told you he had a slight problem with the push coming off. So no changes on Randy LaJoie. Good pit stop. He did keep the lead.
There's Tim Fedewa, 26 cars on the lead lap. The last car being Dick Trickle. Everybody's been on the pit.
The owner, Bill Bumgarner, had some medical stuff, but that's a unique rear bumper. I don't know if it was ever saved. We have one rear bumper, and I'm looking to see which race it might be. I know they end up winning 2 Busch races this year. They'll win Nazareth. I'll be at Nazareth, actually. And they'll win South Boston or IRP, one of them. I'll have to review that.
Weaving their way through traffic. Bessie gets through in second. Third place, Elton Sawyer gets caught up in traffic. Elliott Sadler restarted in fourth. Robert Presley fifth. Mike McLaughlin in sixth. Tony Stewart restarted seventh. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in eighth. Casey Atwood, buddy, all the way back to ninth during that pit stop.
Well, Dennis Adcox and those do a great job, but you need to run every week. And Casey and those guys show up every now and then to run because they don't have a sponsor.
Looking back at these races, I'm more and more impressed with Fedewa's driving style.
Every week, the pit crews really get good at it. If you don't do it every week, that's what happens.
Around the 36 of Matt
He's
Hunter,
very smooth, and he does have just the right amount of aggression.
14 of Patty Moise. And now for the lead.
As far as like
Bessie
he
get there.
doesn't hesitate to grab a hole if one's available.
Bessie led the first 59 laps.
Oh, he's going to make it in the middle part of the corner.
Oh, he's going to hit him. Oh, no.
But Randy gets a great run back off turn two. But it looks like right now on cold tires, the sixth car, Joe Bessie, is a little bit quicker.
Joe
than
Bessie won a lot of like
Elton
things up in
Sawyer's
the
closed in right behind there
main
on the
area,
38.
like
Elton's having a big day today. He
through the
really is.
years. I just always felt like
At
his
the tail end, he got problems with the engine, lost a cylinder.
the sense of judgment, like sometimes on a run, seemed to not
For
quite.
the lead, Bessie got him lap 73.
Randy LaJoie's car just absolutely
Not
would
be so
turn
precise, you know, like he's apt to
Here comes Elton
barely
Sawyer
bump
on the
somebody
side.
and not
Take
mean
over
to,
second.
but
And just, I tell you, when you have a little bit of push problem like
or
that,
also
you
be
can
in the
see him
wrong
dropping
place
back
at
right
the
now.
wrong
Elliott
time. He's
Sadler
got
right
pretty
behind
bad
him coming, and Robert
luck
Presley in the
that way.
59.
Good battle right there.
That's a great
But
race.
LaJoie
And again,
and
Elton Sawyer, four
and Bessie
times
raced
here,
together
top
for a
five,
lot
and
of
in that mix.
races up there in New England before
Wouldn't he like to win one of
LaJoie
these
went
things?
south.
270 career starts. He has won just a single race.
See,
Myrtle Beach in
I watched Don LaJoie race. That Donnie LaJoie was Randy's father, and he was a modified racer, and they thought Randy would be a modified racer, but he got an opportunity to get in a Busch North car at one point, and it worked out. That's the direction he took.
Last year, I believe it was. We were talking so
I remember
much about
seeing
the
him
fact that
across
you
the
really
pits
wanted
when he was like maybe
new governors
18
in
years
this
old,
area, which I found
maybe.
interesting, to really stress tourism
And he
as
just
part of your platform.
Looked like a skinny, dark-haired kid, if you can believe it. He
Absolutely.
was
In fact,
skinny.
We've got a whole group
That's
of
funny.
tour operators here today from Great Britain and Germany, and this is one of the stops on their tour. We're trying to encourage more visitors from Europe, and tourism is the second largest industry in the state, so we love those folks who come in from out of state to visit us.
One thing I'll tell you, too, the guys around here, the law enforcement agencies and so on, they have just a wonderful job in this decade of getting the traffic now flowing so well. I was a bit of a bugaboo when we first came here back in 1990. Now it's so easy to come and go, and they've really done a lot of good work up here.
Well, that's nice to hear. I think they've really worked hard at it. All the state officials tried to work with the local folks here in Loudon to make sure that traffic runs smooth and that law enforcement is cooperative.
There you see Elliott Sadler making a move around Elton Sawyer. See, Randy LaJoie had gotten that position back. There goes Robert Presley in the 59. I'll tell you, buddy, get out of line at least a little bit. These guys are on you.
I was just looking at Randy LaJoie. You're exactly right. That's what's happening. But Randy LaJoie, as soon as he gets a little bit of heat into the tires, he can turn in the center part of the corner. Here he comes. Joe Bessie knows it, too. I guarantee you he's looking in the mirror. But Elliott Sadler is there, moving very, very well. But every week he seems to be in contention.
Elliott's had a busy week. He tested at Pikes Peak International Raceway in Colorado Springs earlier this week. The NASCAR Busch Series goes there in early June. Governor Gene Shaheen, great to see you, and I certainly look forward to seeing you when the NASCAR Winston Cup teams come to town here in a month or so, and we love coming up to this state. The Granite State and all the people up here, just wonderful to visit with.
Well, thanks. It's great to see you again, and we love having you here and look forward to your coming back.
Take care. Thank you, Governor. Governor Gene Shaheen, Democratic Governor of the state of New Hampshire. That is Joe Bessie, the pride of Scarborough, Maine. Just just up the road apiece. And there are the numbers nearing halfway.
Speaking of making a move, look at the 74 of Randy LaJoie. He's catching Joe Bessie almost a car length a lap. Now he is flying around this racetrack. Elliott Sadler has pull right on his back bumper. We got a great race going today.
The guy who's lost in that exchange is Elton Sawyer, who is now backslid to 4 seconds behind the pack that he was running in the middle of just a few moments ago. So he's really gone backwards.
He's just not running nearly as well as he was a while ago. But these two guys are running great, and they have been running great all day long. Class of the field right there.
Bumper cam will give you a little excitement there if we had it. I'm telling you.
Caution is on the speedway. Turn 2, there's a problem. There's a problem. Patty Moise and Mike Cope are the involved cars. Moise in the 14, Cope in the 30. And caution for the 3rd time.
Tremendous amount of damage there to Mike Cope's car. That's him in the red car, and that's Patty Moise in the white car pulling away there. Tremendous amount of damage. I know the radiator's gone in that car.
And how fortunes can change. That is the car that won the race here last year. Mike Cope's number 30.
Patty Moise. That car owned by Michael Waltrip's wife, Buffy. Elizabeth Waltrip listed as the owner on the number 14. Caution at lap number 87.
I don't think she has any brakes.
That may have been a comment.
I was going to say,
well, I was being nice, guys.
There may be no brakes, or that might have been an editorial.
Elton Sawyer.
Let's wait and see here. No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Again, obviously a lot of carnage. And Patty has driven on towards the garage stall. So Patty Moise right there. And the good news is, with all that damage, good news that they were both able to drive away.
Elton Sawyer's pitted. The hood is up on that car. He had been in contention earlier today. Trickle is in the pits as well in the 38.
Here comes 77 Ed Berrier. Phil Parsons is in. These stops at lap number 88. Glenn Jarrett's down on pit road watching.
Man, I ran to the
Eli, there's that
little
Matt
girl's
Kenseth come in.
room
We
for
told
a
you it was very
second.
tight. They came in a while ago and made some adjustments.
And
Matt said the
I'm
car was
on.
even worse. They brought him in this time. They put 3 rounds in the right rear, 2 out of the left rear, and went 3 up on the track bar. And they've also got some spring rubbers. In a little bit, I'm going to show you some of this stuff. Talk about
I can
the ways
actually
they adjust his
see
car, but Kenseth's car is probably
the stream
as tight as he's
in
ever had it,
a
and they
mirror
just cannot
when I'm
get
in
it
the
set up.
ladies' room. So I was watching like, oh my God, they're
These
wrecking.
pit stops now for some taking place lap number 89.
Well, if it's still pushing now, they can take it out in the woods and shoot it. I'm telling you, that's a major change on that car.
Let's see if we can tell from Matt Kenseth's car what happened between Cope. Now, tough to tell through the smoke.
Stay down low. We're clear, boys. We're clear.
Couldn't tell through the smoke what happened between Cope and Patty Moise.
Just looked like front to rear contact with a whole bunch of cars running together, and who hit who first is one of those things that would be tough to analyze at this point.
Lap 89 here at New Hampshire International Speedway, live on TNN Motorsports. Joe Bessie leads Randy LaJoie. Kevin LePage under caution. Caution for the 3rd time this afternoon. Patty Moise and Mike Cope involved in an accident out in turn 2. There's Patty's car still being driven
Holy
through
smokes.
the pit area, actually where you saw the car turn in before she went towards
Check
the Busch
out
North
much.
Series garage. And there is really no access from one to the other. There is foot access, but not driving. So now she's back on the area behind pit road and heading to what is today the Busch Series garage. It's the Winston Cup garage when those fellas race here twice a year. On the pit lane, Elton Sawyer's been in moments ago. Ed Berrier back in for a 2nd time. Matt Yoakum is on the pit lane, and he's been snooping around the Dale Earnhardt Jr. pit, and a lot of activity going on there. What's the story, Matt?
Eli, something amiss under the hood of Dale Jr. It appears something is wrong with the carburetor. Either has low throttle or full throttle. So right now they're discussing whether to bring him in, try to change it. They're going to try to soldier on at the moment, but in one of the later cautions, they may have to change his carburetor because he is definitely losing track position. Glenn Jarrett?
Hey, Matt, thanks. You know, I told you a while ago about some of the things that Matt Kenseth was facing with a tight race car. Let me show you real quickly some of the ways they adjust these cars during the race. The easiest way, change air pressure in the tires. That's the quick way. The other way, they might take a wrench like this and adjust the jack screw, change the tension on a spring. Or, if it's really bad, they may adjust the track bar with a wrench like this. One of the other things they do, they may take a rubber. This is a half rubber. They may take one of these out of the right front to soften it up to make the car turn a little better. They might cut this in two or put a hole or a half rubber in the right rear to tighten that up. If none of that stuff works, if it's a really bad push, they take this hammer and whack, and they whack the crew chief for making the car that tight to begin with.
Good.
Lord have mercy, there's so much truth to that. It's not funny.
The crew chief looking on.
Oh,
the team
man.
owner,
Pemberton.
Robbie Reiser.
Oh, no,
who owns
Robbie
the,
Reiser.
Number 17 team.
Yeah, no, they
92
went.
laps on the board
This
right
is
now.
what I'm
8
actually
laps
looking
shy
to
of
find
halfway
out which race
in
this
the
was.
Come
Now,
Out
it's not this one because it doesn't
for the
say
NASCAR
Get Well
Series
Bill.
here in New Hampshire.
But this is in my sister's garage.
Lap into the
So
restart
I
now
gotta
with
figure
Joe
out which
Bessie
one has,
continuing as
and
the
so far
race
it's not
leader.
Talladega
He got
and
around
it's not this
Jason
race
Jarrett and
that has
kept
this
him
thing.
down the lap that he was
I wonder if
earlier.
it's one of them he
Now
won.
Jarrett acting the bumper car between
So
the leader Bessie
that's
and the
another
second place
investigating
runner, Randy LaJoy.
little
88
project
Kevin
I'm
Swanson
doing.
on the lead lap on 66. Elliott Sadler is 59. Robert Presley is. He's running in fourth. And the 44 Tony Stewart now running in fifth.
Tony Stewart has really picked the intensity up. He is driving down in the corner about 5 times as hard as he was at the first part of the race. Very, very fast getting into the corner. I look for him to be up front in just a few laps.
That's the Hickory car for the 44 Tony Stewart. Crew Chief Brian Fraser and Tony tested for 3 days last week at Richmond International Raceway in Virginia, the Sawyer's beautiful racetrack, and they got everything ironed out and ready to come up here. Again, he's had tons of laps in the IRL, the Indy Racing League car up here, but not until this weekend has he been in a NASCAR Busch Series machine on this racetrack. There you see our friends at MCI bringing you NASCAR timing and scoring.
Whoa, Casey Atwood in the 28 there. Eli is all the way down on the flat part of the racetrack in the center part of the corner. It probably cost him momentum down the straightaway as you see the feed-walk car get by him to 33 there.
There you see 7th place swapping around with that.
See, the rear
MCI
bumper is
scoring
different.
rundown. Our friends
It doesn't
at
say
MCI
Scott.
remind you about 10, 3, 2,
Wait a
1.
minute.
Just
It's got
dial it
Kleenex
and
on the
save up to
front,
50.
and it's got something else on the rear. Maybe they got a New England
Get
sponsor.
Well Bill on the back is for his car owner, Bill Bumgarner. I told you at the top of the broadcast, just coming back from some surgery. Gonna be okay. Well, that's a good thing. He's one of the real nice guys
Really
in the garage.
is.
Bill Bumgarner is somebody just everybody really, really likes, and everybody's pulling for you, Bill.
Working our way towards halfway. Mother Nature has held off her onslaught.
In real life,
Mother Nature wouldn't mess around with the governor here.
Bill Bumgarner passed away
Gonna
early
get the
this
racing with the
year.
governor here.
Exactly right. I wouldn't have
So
given you a
whatever
particular
health
chance, though, watching
ailment
the weather guesser yesterday.
must have
Or
been
coming to the racetrack this
overcome
morning,
because
yeah,
that
it was rain on the
was,
windshield.
Yeah.
Guys, look
what,
at this.
27 years
I'm
ago?
telling you, that's Jason Jarrett on the
1998?
outside there. Robert Presley and these guys. It was about 3 wide going down the front straightaway, and everybody had to adjust to get through the corner.
I'm an art major, not a math major, so
Now, if you're curious and you're looking closely, you say that's a Ford that
Don't
Jason
mind if
Jarrett
you
is
correct
driving.
me.
And you say to yourself, gee, I thought when he was driving it was going to be a Chevy. And when Dale Jarrett was driving it was going to be a Ford. Well, it was a Chevy. Except in qualifying
Mostly the
yesterday,
rear
Jason
bumper
wrecked
said
the primary
Scott
car
for
and the backup.
tissues.
And
Whoa.
tagged by Casey Atwood.
Ah, that
Then goes
freaking
around
hurt.
As he is hit by the 82 of Mark McFarland. There goes the spinning Santerre.
Somebody,
Caution
honestly,
is on
I
the
think
speedway.
whoever hit him lost his
Turn one,
brakes.
the problem
This is
lap
really tough on
100.
brakes
We're
here.
halfway here in New Hampshire.
Because to
There
hit
was
someone
the
that
82
hard
of
is
Mark
weird.
McFarland, who really had absolutely nowhere to go. There is the Chevy that looks very much, unfortunately, like the Ford looked yesterday.
Casey Atwood thought he had the spot going in the corner, and he got into the left corner there of Jason Jarrett, and that started this melee.
Or I should say that was the Ford
really
looking like the Chevy did yesterday.
Know much about this era of racing. Like I said, after 97, when I got out of it and I got away from it, on a full-time, you know, like working in it level,
and the cars behind them just have absolutely nowhere to go.
I just didn't know who drove for who or whose car was what. Even the technology, most of all, is what I'm trying to keep up with.
Another
Jesus.
car right there, the 82 McFarland, showing a good bit of flame, and he is unhooking from his car. He's the late model stock car driver, McFarland is, from the Old Dominion Speedway in Manassas, Virginia. As you can see, he's okay. Plans to run 5 NASCAR Busch Series races this year. This is the biggest track, the fastest track he'd ever run on.
I still am curious what changed from
last year, so
like the 95, 96, 97 cars we ran. All of a sudden, like 98, there were like vicious wrecks, people getting hurt, breaking bones, getting killed, like between 98 and above.
Disappointed. The good news, he's
And then
okay.
they,
Mike, what
what,
happened?
07 car
in there
at
behind the
Kamala?
lap car, the 14, and we just got him into the back of her just a little bit, just got my momentum. I was carrying a little bit more than she was, and she checked up, I checked up, and evidently the cars behind us didn't get the hint, and they didn't check up, and just a bad day for the Slim Jim car. It knocked the front clip off of it. It's been an all too familiar sight for us of late, but things are going to turn around. We're running a little bit better today. Come in, made our stops, got the car adjusted, and was, we're running pretty decent. Didn't have a car to win, but had a car to get us into the top 15, but won't be today.
Well, the good news is he's okay. The bad news, they wanted to take this car to Nazareth. It was 0.3 of a second faster than their Nazareth car during a test. The bad news, it looks like they're going to have to run that Nazareth car after all.
Tough story there. The hood has been up and down. They're putting the hood pins back in on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car. Again, we told you about the problems he was having just a short while ago.
Also, this year was kind of like
2 laps on the board. Joe Bessie
where
leads
racing
and
got
on the
really
track.
big. Really, really big. Like it grew so fast that the teams to keep up
race leader here at New
were
Hampshire
like
International
losing
Speedway,
their ass.
and there is Joe. Interesting, as we broke away, we mentioned that everybody else, with the exception of Robert Presley, pitted at lap 102 or 103. Joe Bessie, our race leader, did not make that pit stop. Interesting. Wonder what the strategies are. We'll find out about that in just a moment or so. There's Dale Earnhardt Jr. He lost a lap moments ago, guys, and here he's coming in again.
Casey Atwood's also in the pit area, picking the hood up on
Glenn
his
Jarrett.
car.
Yeah, Glenn, why don't you pick up the story first?
Okay, guys, I talked with Joe Bessie's crew, and they think it's going to rain. There's a little bit of rain spitting. They think that the rains may come, and they didn't want to take a chance of giving up the lead. Now, we said that nearly everybody else pitted, and Joe didn't, but the guy who may come out ahead of this, best of all, is Andy Sims, pitted to the lap before, and so he gained a lot of positions because Elliott's guys came in after it did. So it's going to see what, but the Bessie's waiting on the rain.
Internet is not great in New England back then, so that's a lot of that skipping.
Talking about it since we signed on. The weatherman said 70% chance today. Watch this again. 28 Atwood, 32 Jason Jarrett.
2 of the youngest drivers in the field. You see Jarrett coming down. Casey got into the left rear corner, and behind him, everybody's in big trouble.
And with more experience, that would not have happened for either driver.
I see now.
But,
like,
that's one of the things you have to learn is where everybody is on the racetrack and how to pace
check
yourself
up,
going into the
and
corner. So that does
the
not
yellow
happen.
car hit him
And there
even
is
harder.
Dennis Adcock and the rest of the crew working on Casey Atwood's number 28. He'd seen this track on television. He'd never been here.
My
This
dad
is the
was at the
smoothest,
track
nicest
when they
track
lost
I've ever run
Grant.
on.
I
It's also
think
the
he went
fastest
there
track he's
one
ever
day
run
to
on. He's
help
pretty well convinced
Dennis
he's never gone as fast in a race car as he has this weekend.
for a practice day
There's Mark
ARCA.
McFarland's car. Matt, a
On
lot
the
of
day that he
fellas
got
seeing their cars
killed.
going to the garage looking like that.
doesn't
Another
speak
guy
of
to
it
go behind the wall, Tracy
like I've
Lesnar.
said,
They
when
have a possible broken
the racers
transmission.
get
They're gonna
killed
look that over. Also,
things
trouble
like that,
in the 38 car. He's got carburetor
we
problems
know it's
as
part
well.
of it. We just
His
don't
thing
talk
will only
about
go to
it.
4,000
it's like,
RPM.
okay, that,
So they're going to look at bringing that car in as
deal
well.
with it that day.
So that's the update from Matt Yoakum down on the pit lane. Quick reminder, if
Take
you
care
are
of
into
the
video
formalities
games, you've
and
probably heard
then
what
we
the
move
critics
on.
are saying about TNN Motorsports video game Hardcore 4x4 for the Sony PlayStation and the Sega Saturn system. They say if you're a
The only
racer and
one
you
I've
like
been
games,
to
check
in
out
person
TNN Motorsports
was John
Hardcore
Newman's.
4x4. One reviewer said
Just
the game gets so
wicked. It's
real you have to
wicked.
scrape the mud off your television.
it's,
So
you know,
for
we
more information about
paid
TNN
our
Motorsports
dues to
Hardcore
get the
4x4,
sport where
just
it
check out
is.
our website at
That's why I take offense
country.com.
kind of to
We'll give you
the
all the information how
next
you
gen
can
cars
get
because
that for yourself.
we already
Now, there's
learned
Joe
all
Bessie.
these mistakes.
It says my bunions and
We
my
just needed
rheumatiz say
Hans
it's going to rain.
devices
I'm
and
not gonna
safer
pick.
barriers.
We'll be right back.
And if the cars need to be
Back
slowed
to
down,
work.
add weight to
Lap
them.
111
Don't
of
take away
200 here at New
spoiler
Hampshire
or
International
downforce or
Speedway.
tire. All these things that make them maneuver well and keep the driver safe. Keep the driver confident.
To make a pit stop. You know, I've been visiting these parts for many years, Dick Bergman, and I always hear the locals
I
say,
just
if you
always
don't
thought
like
adding
the New
weight
England weather, wait 10
give
minutes.
the
Bound to
teams
change.
more
This is a gutsy
ability
call
to
by
find the
Bessie's team,
right roll
hedging on
center,
rain to come and not pitting
etc.
because of it.
It's a brave
Instead
man
of
who makes a wager on the Woodward
when they
Race.
can
Look at the sky like this. We had a day last week where it was supposed to
make
be sunny
less
and mild and
horsepower,
gorgeous
I
all
guess,
day, and
but
it
you
rained
still
all
need
day.
that
We were
snappy
supposed to have had heavy
response
rain
to
by
keep
now this
yourself
afternoon. We haven't had it.
out
And
of the
maybe
way,
we'll get it, and maybe
too.
Joe Bessie
So
and his crew
we
from
always
Carl
were
Hollow will come out
safety
here
and
looking
innovation
brilliant.
minded,
Maybe they won't.
and
We'll see.
they just need to not
Speaking of weather, this
veer
is
too
the
far
storm
from
we're
that,
watching
I
here.
think.
Elton Sawyer and these guys have been bumping each other in the corner, trying to get by Blaze Alexander every way they can. Just in front of them there, you can see Parsons looking back from Parsons' car there. Elton Sawyer on the outside, coming down the back straightaway. These guys have been bumper tagging each other all the way around the racetrack.
There are still 22 cars on the lead lap. The last one is Ed Berrier. Quickly, Joe Bessie leads. Robert Presley second. Shane Hall is third. Kevin Grubb is fourth. Matt Kenseth is fifth. Phil Parsons runs in sixth. Seventh is Kevin LePage. Mark Green is eighth. Buckshot Jones is ninth. And Glenn Allen is 10th. 11th is Mike Dillon. Then you've got the 52 for Kevin Grubb. He's running 12th. Jeff Purvis is 13th. 14th is Tony Stewart. 15th, Andy Santerre. Tim Fedewa is 16th. Mike McLaughlin, 17th.
I didn't mean to yell, but Tony Stewart put that car where it shouldn't be. You can see on the outside there, the 52 is really having a hard time getting back to going. They made big contact going into turn one. Everybody made it.
Well, look at old Tony Stewart, though, just making the move now to the inside of Tim
Yeah, it's
Fedewa.
kind of,
That's for
this track
16th
is a
spot.
1.5 group racetrack, so you really gotta throw it on the dash to be able to pass here. Too wide is hairy, 3 wide's just, there's no way. You're in the marbles.
And Tony Stewart was one of those. Last caution flag, he came in, made his pit stop. Now he's going to get through the traffic again. He's going to try 3 wide.
Oh, yeah.
Three wide.
Oh, boy.
Fedewa.
Heck yeah, that car, when it was time, it got it shouldn't
Jack
get.
Jarrett done for the day. His Ford not able
Holy
to return.
smokes.
Let's get an update from the garage.
Well, Eli, Jason has walked out of the infield care center. Jason, a wild ride. You're okay. What happened?
I don't really know. I thought I gave the 28 car enough room, and I guess he needed to take more. But you know, that's just how our luck's been here in New Hampshire. It was starting. Well, it was starting to get a lot better, and we were running up there with the leaders. I didn't think I was in the way, but I guess other people thought different.
Well, he's okay. A little frustrated, but definitely a weekend to forget for Jason Jarrett.
Yeah, definitely so. Again, yesterday losing the Chevy in qualifying, and now wrecking the Ford during this come-out 200. We're at lap 116 of 200, and folks, remember, the NASCAR Busch
They
North
didn't
Series
really have the
runs a
ability to
100
see
lap.
replays right off
When
the
this
bat,
race is done, of
so
course, we'll have it for you right here on TNN Motorsports.
it's interesting to see
Fedewa
his
and
take,
Stewart.
and a lot of it, he could have got his bell rung about, remember, to be honest, because you'll hear
Purvis, the Lance
drivers
Snacks
tell
machine.
a story that
Dillon, the 72 car.
doesn't
They
match
are
the
11th and
replay.
12th. Purvis and Dillon are. 99, Glenn Allen Jr. around Kevin Schwantz. Schwantz not on the lead lap. Glenn Allen is running in 9th.
So this is 98. Dad won this race in 92, this, I think, spring race.
The blue and white car there, that's McLaughlin
I want
last
to
year's
say.
winner, 66 there. Elliott Sadler, and just behind him, Randy LaJoy. They're fighting their way back through heavy traffic, trying to get good track position and put themselves back in a chance to win this race.
I can't remember if we won the spring or the fall race.
Joe Bessie
One
has
of them.
3/10 of a second on Robert Presley. Presley has now 2 seconds.
Probably the fall
on
race,
Shane
the Chevy
Hall.
Dealers.
And this is where experience
So
is ever so
it's been
important. The young kids that
6
are
years
really not all that many
in
laps on the racetrack.
chronological order till this
Doing
race
now, weaving their way through traffic and getting through with defenders
would
all
feed
over.
us. So I expected that. Oh, I expect they run well.
Caution on the speedway. Lap 120. Even though he's able to continue, the yellow is
I should
already
find that
flying.
92
And
race
Joe
and play
Bessie
it just for a
will lead
throwback,
them back to the stripe.
because
Again, Kevin Schwantz, who raced
they had to
here in
come from like 2
motorcycles
laps
back in
down to win,
1987 in the old
which
Loudon
was
Classic
quite a
Superbike
thing
division.
to do, because they didn't have
Loops
Lucky
it
Dog
around
now.
there. It used to be part of the Ridling Motorsports team, buddy, and now it's Kevin Schwantz's own operation.
You know, Kevin Schwantz is doing a great job this year, but you have to ask yourself
David
a question.
Ridling had
Will
the
Joe Bessie and
43
these guys
Lance
that did
car
not
the
take
year
advantage of that caution a
previous.
while ago come
Or
in
maybe
now?
even
If
this
they
one,
do,
I'm not
the
sure.
other guys will really have
Because
a lot
Dennis
of track
Setzer
position
drove
on
it.
them.
A few races, and my dad helped a few races on that
comes in,
too.
even though Matt's running 4 laps down already. He was all over the racetrack the last lap or so. I'm curious as to whether he might have cut a tire down. Watch Schwantz.
No, he got tagged getting in the corner there.
Yep, the 52 got a piece of him, Kevin Grubb. Just a scuff up. And here come the leaders down pit road, buddy. So your question being answered.
I know
here.
I've referenced
Lap
it before.
122,
Dad's
we'll see Bessie and Presley.
being a racing consultant kind of falls in the line of like the suitcase Jake Elder or David If, you know, people that are hired race to race or a few races or a season. He's been labeled crew chief at Nemco and base here. So there were a few others, but mainly he's just a car builder and a chassis guy and a shop guy.
And he'll check back in line somewhere around 20th place now once those who are on the racetrack go by. Indeed, Matt Hutter has come onto the pit lane, as we had guessed. For those of you who are keeping up with that young driver, they did think they had a tire problem, and they're checking things. Speaking of tires, Goodyear brought a harder tire here. There you see Hutter going back onto the racetrack. A bit of a harder tire than they've run here in the past. It was the Busch Series tire from Homestead, the Winston Cup tire from Phoenix. Just about one step up on the hardness from what these teams have run in the past. 122 laps. We're coming right back.
Hard tire at New Hampshire is mainly because they probably don't want them to chip. Sometimes when it's too cold, they'll chip
For the first time since June of a year
rather
ago
than
at the
blister.
South Boston Speedway in Virginia.
They want it
Second
kind
is
of
the
soft,
17,
I would
Matt
say.
Kenseth. Phil Parsons in the 10 is running third. Kevin LePage in the 40 is fourth. And the 00 is Buckshot Jones. He runs fifth.
It's going to be a day Hall is going to remember, isn't it? Picked up a sponsor, started out at this race, and here he is in the lead.
That's a good point. That is not the Andretti Racing Team's car. That is one of Shane Hall's own cars, and the sponsorship is just for a little while here until Andretti and them figure out what they're going to do.
There you see how some of the top teams made their stops, and obviously some who did not make stops picked up positions as a result.
So the two cars that are in front of that blue and red car Hall is driving are laps down.
Well, actually, at this moment now, Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 3 is on the tail end of the lead lap. But you're right, the 38 is now the tail end of 1 lap down. Elton Sawyer almost 2 laps down. But Dale Jr. is now on the tail end of the lead lap. So if he catches a caution here, he'd be able to come all the way around. Meanwhile, look at the scramble. 7th place on back. Mike Dillon in 7th. Tony Stewart, the 44 and 8th. Tim Fedua running behind him. Tim's going salmon fishing up in Maine when this race is over before heading on to Nazareth, Pennsylvania for the next stop.
Oh, wow, cool. Nazareth, I was there.
Make up the distance. You see that darker area in the corners. If you were
By
with
that
us
time, I
last
had
year,
married
you
this
might
fireman. He
remember.
was from Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Here at New Hampshire
So
National, that darker area.
we were up there traveling to meet family and stopped at the track. He got to be the second catch can man for the gas, not the catch can man, but hand the second can of gas over the wall to the guy, the gas man. So he was so thrilled, and when we win, he would be cheering on pit road, and it's kind of cool to see because, like, even though we divorced, we still remain cordial, and he ended up passing away of some medical conditions he had, you know, long term, so it was kind of cool that he got to do that in his life. Yeah, that'll be the next race. That's pretty cool.
Tracy Leslie.
Looking forward to the
There's the
Nazareth.
leader, Shane Hall. Kempseth right behind him. Then the lap machine of Casey Atwood. Glenn Jarrett, like the rest of us, just watching this story unfold.
Hey, guys, you know, it's pretty amazing. Evidently, that hammer worked on Robbie Reiser because that car was almost a lap down. In fact, when the first caution came out, Randy LaJoy was under Kenseth to put him a lap down, but Matt beat him back to the line, stayed in the lead lap, and now he's hanging up in the top 5. They're running second. That's pretty amazing. He got knocked out of the groove there by Casey Atwood, but that's still a pretty amazing story. The car, however, is still real tight, so the hammer is still standing by.
You're looking at Buckshot Jones in the 00 there, moved all the way up and has a very, very competitive car. Got caught up in the first wreck of the day right on the front straightaway here. Has made a tremendous comeback.
Lap 130, as you see, 70 remaining. Riding with Kevin LePage. He's in 4th. They're in the channel lock. They give him the word. And indeed, he does have the... Glenn Allen Jr. tried to follow through there. Couldn't quite make the move in the corner.
Coming through it on close to tail. Okay, sir, I'm doing all I can, all right? Yeah, 10-4, just advising you.
You're listening to John Munson, who is conversing with the 99 of Glenn Allen Jr.
And he's exactly right. He's doing all he can as he makes a move on Kenseth down into turn 3.
Inside.
Well, getting close.
This is for 4th. And Purvis in the 4 is in the mix also. That's 4th, 5th, 6th. Stewart right behind them at 7th. McLaughlin, the 34, that white car in the middle. He's in 8th. Elliott Sadler, 9th. All those guys battling for position.
Well, we're getting down to it now. We've had what is almost certainly the last pit stop, so any position you can take now, if you can hang on to it, that's yours at the end of the race.
Dad's team's running P9 after that pit stop.
Jones, they are 1st and 2nd. Going around Casey Atwood.
Trying to go by Casey Atwood.
Yeah.
They made a little contact getting into turn 1 there, and Buckshot had to check up just a little bit, or those two cars would have been in trouble.
If you're curious about Shane Hall there in the Big A, number 85, this is only the 2nd NASCAR Busch Series race he has led in his 54 career starts.
You can see the damage on the front of Casey Atwood's car there, held together by gray tape and a bunch of bungee cords and different things. That affects a car on the major speedways, but on a mile racetrack like this where the speeds are somewhere around 150 miles an hour, you can see has absolutely nothing to do with the performance.
early 90s, Shane Hall, the 85, was sponsored by Bama Jelly, which was an affiliate, I believe, to Garner Foods, which we were Texas Pete, so they were kind of an affiliate through that same corporation for some sponsorship. So we were aware of, you know, him as a racer anyway at the track as being affiliated.
This guy is absolutely destined to win and win soon.
Casey Atwood is fighting so very hard to get back in the lead lap. He knows he has a very quick car, as you can see, but he needs to get by Shane Hall to get back in the lead lap.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Casey got a little impatient. Again, 85 is the leader. 28 is not on the lead lap. The 00 is running in second. They'll go around the 43, having just come off the pit lane. Stevie Reeves.
Well, they wondered if this kid Atwood was going to be any good if you got him away from his home track of Nashville. The answer is yes. Very good.
Let's talk a little bit about Kevin LePage there in the 40. He's moved himself into the top 4 now and running very, very well in the Channel Lock car. You can see you're riding with him off turn 4 and down the front straightaway.
He's a favorite up here from Shelburne, Vermont.
Hey, protect your inside when you get to the corner.
Listening to Kevin LePage's radio.
You want to do it.
And that's
Don't want
his
to get
wife.
caught outside because there's a big line back there.
Donna giving him the who's where. And there's that line of traffic behind him that we were hearing about on the radio.
How many guys would want to have their wife up on the roof as the spotter talking to him in their headset as they run a race car? But he does, and it works.
Saw Buckshot finally get around Casey Atwood there, buddy.
Yeah, he got a good run off turn 4, got on the inside of Casey Atwood, and Casey realizes this is for the lead of the race right here. He moved over very smartly and let him go.
Atwood is in 24th, a lap down now from the leader, 85. Look where the 3 is. There's Dale Earnhardt Jr. Remember when he got on the tail end of the lead lap? And now he's just pulling away. He's got clear sailing, clear track ahead of him.
Boy, a caution flag could change this right around.
And here's the lead. Buckshot Jones got it. Brings Atwood with him, who still stays a lap down. But Buckshot Jones grabs the lead in lap 139 from Shane Hall.
And Kevin LePage comes along. You can see Shane Hall got pushed out wide there, has not recovered from it. He's dropping back.
And Glenn Allen Jr. is by. And Purvis in the 4 goes by. And we saw Tony Stewart
Pass you on
going
the
by.
outside if they want the spot.
Also, Joe Bessie got by Randy LaJoy. So Bessie is now in 8th and LaJoy is in 9th. There they are. And look who's still going back, the 85 Shane Hall. Still hasn't gotten in line.
That's what Donna LePage was talking about. She said, don't get on the outside. Get on the outside. There's a whole line that's going to come by you. And she was right.
Tim Feederwood trying to protect 9th spot from Shane Hall. You've got Mike McLaughlin right behind as well. He'll try and protect 10th, and he's closing it tight. There you have the Justin Boots entry. Jason Keller, he'll try and protect 11th.
As Shane Hall says, if I ever get back on the bottom of this racetrack,
I'm never leaving
Never
again.
going back up here again.
He's down now. But he has lost so much. He's gone from 1st to 12th in the shuffle. But a Hampshire International Speedway shuffle to the back. Robert Presley in the 59. He's had such a good day today.
Of course, one of the regulars up here in Busch North Racing, and he told us about track strategy here.
You don't want to get hung out on the outside. I've done that a few times, trying to pass someone on the outside. It's a tough place to get around here. The track is real flat, and the corners are pretty fast, so the bottom is definitely the place to be.
And that's exactly what we've been talking about. It comes right there from a fellow who has more laps on this track, 2,400 of them in competition, and you count practice and testing, he's probably got 3,000 plus miles on this racetrack, Andy Santerre. But that is the race leader, the pride of the University of Georgia, Buckshot Jones. He always runs well on TNN Motorsports. We're coming right back.
Dad's team's running P9.
His Monte Carlo looked
Jesus.
like a Monte Carlo. Regretfully, it now looks like a Pacer. That is remarkable,
Bessie.
folks. He led 107 laps
You know,
today. We
that
are
guy
obviously
couldn't
under
buy luck
caution
if he had $1
at lap
million.
145. Joe Bessie and Elliott Sadler spun off turn number 2. And there you see leading 107 laps today. Early in the day, clearly the class of the field. There's the other car who was involved, Elliott Sadler. Look at the offset there.
Yeah, you can see the rear housing knocked completely around sideways on that car, and the right front knocked around too.
Meanwhile, at the other end of the racetrack, this is Shane Hall. This was not the first. This is not the reason for the caution. Shane got tagged by Robert Presley right there. Did the full 360 and continued on. There was no caution because of that. He got it woed down and brought the big A car back to the pit lane. But at that very same moment, at the other end of the racetrack, there was the Joe Bessie, Elliott Sadler spin.
You can see Joe got into the back of Elliott Sadler just a little bit, putting both of these cars out of control and into the outside. You see Sadler really spinning the wheels there to keep it off the wall. And right there, he makes big contact with the right front.
Wow.
It was a good strategy, though, instead of using
Well, Joey almost got in it.
bury the throttle.
Now, you talked about aerodynamics not being a huge factor, but what happens when you have no rear spoiler?
Well, if he goes back at all, he's for the ride. But you can see the car is really twisted and everything. I mean, right now he's trying to evaluate whether he has any reason to be out there.
He's
say
coming
no.
back onto the racetrack's pit road again. That lap enough right there to scare him to the garage area. And there, you're indeed right, buddy. There was no way. That's too bad. Joe Bessie, just a nice guy, popular guy up here. Just wasn't going to work.
Good morning, RK. How are
Races in a
you?
row he's crashed, and he has got to wonder about the fate.
It's
of
really
what they have
early. I was
done to
laying
him.
in bed and I was
Field getting the
thinking
1 to go signal. Chance Russ to
this
remind
would be
you that
Dad's
May
second
23rd
race
here
with
on
the
TN
33, and I
Motorsports,
wanted
the
to
NASCAR
see
Craftsman Truck Series heading
how they
to
did
that
because
tough
I didn't
high-bank half mile,
remember.
the I-70
But I
Speedway
know the
in
next
Odessa,
race is
Missouri, outside of Kansas
Nazareth.
City. Tony
If I get to
Raines
do
will
that
try and
tomorrow,
defend
it
the
depends. I gotta
1997
hit the
win.
road
The Yellow
and
Freight 200,
do a
that
road
is
trip
Saturday,
in
May
2 days.
23rd. 4 p.m. Eastern,
We'll
right here on
see.
TNN Motorsports.
But I was
and remember, folks,
thinking
next
about this New
Saturday,
Hampshire race
as part of TNN's
and couldn't remember
sports
much
coverage
about
for
it.
you. The Winston, NASCAR's all-star race from the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Getting
We'll have
excited
it for you. The race itself at
to
7:30. We've got coverage starting
make
at
this
7
trip
o'clock with
about 500
pre-race
miles,
activities.
bring my
Hope you can join
RV
us
up
1
to
week from tonight. That's going to be a good one. Meanwhile,
my old
Buckshot
home
Jones leads. Green is
in
in the air.
the North Carolina mountains at a friend's house. She has a camp lot that I stay at. I hadn't been back for 5 years, and I'm looking forward to it.
I tell you, these guys are going at it.
Now, remember on that
Peace
caution,
and
Dale
quiet,
Earnhardt Jr. got his lap
fresh
back.
air.
Elton Sawyer, though, still on the tail end of 1 lap down, the 38. But there are the lead machines. Buckshot Jones, LePage, the 44 is Tony Stewart. Super run for the 99, Glenn Allen Jr., Jeff Purvis, Mike McLaughlin, Randy LaJoy is 7th, Fedua is 8th. Good run for Kevin Grubb. He's in 9th, and Jason Keller 10th, and there goes the lead.
Kevin LePage makes a great run off turn 2 as they head down the back straightaway. Couldn't quite make it on Buckshot as they head into turn 3.
The border war right there. Vermont
out there.
past the driver from Georgia.
4 is coming at you hard.
Look at Tony Stewart in the 44. If he got that car hooked up on the bottom part of the racetrack, we've been watching him all day, Dick.
Yeah, and look at Buckshot trying to get down to the lower lane. He bad needs to get down there. He knows what's going to happen if he gets hung on the outside. It's not pretty.
Whoa, that wasn't pretty. They made contact, and Buckshot got the best jump off the corner and back into 2nd place.
What a job. He's from the outside. He got by Stewart again and got his position back. Buckshot's strong.
I grew up in Massachusetts with mainly the modified tour before it was the tour, and then when they put this track in 1990, it was such a big deal, and it looked so beautiful. I went to the first few races even, and we would camp in the upper, like up in there, up in turn 2 to 3, between turn 2 and 3. And they would have a band out there and a bonfire.
You see Kevin LePage there.
It was like
Ken Squire's track just up the road.
like old school racing. It was lots of
Right now,
fun.
though, Buckshot Jones trying to take the lead.
And then my dad would come back in '92 and win, I think, the fall race. I have to look it up.
In that channel lock car over the last few laps. Lap 152
We went
and 153 were
to
Kevin
that
LePage's laps.
race.
Now
Went
Buckshot
to
again
dinner.
will get credited lap 154.
And then I went in '93 when Joe had his first cup car my dad built for me.
Not only on the car, but working with his driver as well, and making sure everything goes well.
Finished fifth in points. They didn't have any wins
Remember when he
though.
won here on TNN
And that
Motorsports
depressed
back
them.
in Milwaukee in
The
July
whole
of
team was
96.
kind of depressed
The
about that. But
Series win in 66 starts prior to today, this
still
being his
good.
67th event.
yeah, crew chief, a car builder, started out in the modifieds building cars and then working on cars, and then he went south in, I want to say 1981. He moved south and got in more of the what was called Grand National then, that's Cup now, or Sportsman that are called Xfinity now. And then in the 90s it became Busch and Cup.
That's back in the middle of the pack now, around Phil Parsons
Yeah,
in 17th.
car builder, crew chief, consultant,
10th,
chassis guy,
Santerre, that's
I don't know.
17th, 18th, 19th, 88th.
Like
Schwantz
suitcase
not in the
Jake
mix.
kind of guy,
He's a couple of laps down in 26.
like of the 90s, I guess.
Not talked much about Andy Santerre today. Local favorite from Maine.
I'd love to hear him get
Yeah.
together and talk to some of the folks from North
He
Carolina.
had got
see if
the,
they understand each other. He's got the greatest main
Watch it
asset.
now, watch it.
Penske shot thing when they started coming out with the customs in the early 90s. My dad got in on that, learning about that technology, and that made like a huge difference too in the sport. So I mean, everyone was running Bilsteins, but my dad went out on a limb and learned about the Penskes, and he really liked how they operated. And they were really simple
on the Busch Grand National Series. So most of the
compared
racetracks he
to
goes
some
to, he's
shot,
pulling in there for the very first time.
you know,
Only 4
shot
tracks on
companies'
his whole
designs.
tour are tracks that he has ever seen before, and this one is the one he has the most experience with. He is having a good run today, Andy Santerre.
We're at lap 158 of 200. Just joining us, we have been slowed by 5 cautions.
Mike McLaughlin there, last year's winner in the 34. You can see he and Randy LaJoy are trying to knife their way back to the front. LaJoy checking him out on the inside. McLaughlin looks like he has a great car, but right now he's mired up in traffic and can't make
This
a run on
particular race, my dad's the crew chief on the 33 there for Tim Fedewa,
And the traffic he's mired in the car.
and it's his second race.
Racing him for position as well, which makes it
So
even
this
more
is
difficult.
98. I think they're like 8 or 9 races in.
159 laps on the board of 200.
And I think he was, Fedewa was like 16th or so in points when my dad joined the team, and I think they're going to end up finishing 7th or 8th. So he helped them improve, even though he joined mid-season.
Right behind him, the 28, that is Casey Atwood, who is now on 1 lap down still. Hasn't yet gotten around Buckshot Jones, and nor is Buckshot for any reason moving over to let him by either. It's been a pretty good battle. How much do you have to worry about a guy right now, buddy? Should he just say, all right, go and be done with him, or should he start using up the 00 a little bit to keep Casey behind him?
Well, as you can see on long runs, Casey Atwood has a great race car, and he will not quit driving the wheels off the car. So if Buckshot can keep him a lap down with very little effort, that's what he needs to do, because this car is capable of winning.
Meanwhile, moments ago, we saw a big accident. Joe Bessie now in the garage. Elliott Sadler's back on the racetrack, 15 laps down. Let's hear from Joe Bessie in the garage area.
Eli Joe Besley awfully dejected, but okay. Joe, what happened?
Just went down into turn 1, and I think there was a car spinning somewhere, but there's no caution. 3 or 4 cars ahead of me checked up, moved up on the racetrack. I slipped down underneath Elliott and got about halfway up underneath him. I don't think he knew I was there. And he came down coming off too, and I moved down to keep from getting into him and got my left front up on the apron a little too much and just unloaded the car and lost the car. Really disappointed. We had a great race car. Really, these power team boys have just worked diligently for the last 6 weeks fixing cars and giving me good race cars the following week. Disappointed anybody that got collected up in that mess. I know what that feels like, and we're just going to persevere through this thing, and we're going to be back in Nazareth with another good piece, and we're going to get through it.
That's Joe Bessie. This is the 5th torn-up race car in 6 races for Joe. He's been another innocent victim. Boy, some bad luck. Somebody send him some good luck charms.
Yeah, you can see a little of the damage there on Elliott Sadler's car, who was also involved in that accident. And what Joe was referring to was the spin. Remember, at the other end of the racetrack, at that point, Shane Hall had gone around. Maybe some of the spotters had told their drivers there was going to be a caution, but as we saw, he just did the full 360 and kept on going, and the yellow never came out. Maybe those guys did check up at the other end of the racetrack.
For the people that just joined this, if you look at Buckshot's car, it didn't start the race looking like this. He was involved in a wreck early part of the race, and you can see there was a lot of damage, but right now they have that car dialed back in, doing a great job. He was lucky he didn't lose a lap.
Yeah.
He stayed in contention all day, and now he seems to be the class of the field.
He started 26th, Buckshot did. And watch it right now. There's second place LePage, Tony Stewart next in line. You know what your favorite driver's paint scheme looks like.
All of the photos around my banner, starting with the top left-hand corner, there's a black and white photo, and there's also a picture of 3 little kids with the red and white jackets. That's my sisters and I. And that was like 1969 or 7. And then if you go all the way around, like, it's almost sort of chronological. Those are all cars my dad worked on in the past, or teams he's been with.
Buckshot Jones had power steering problems here last year that got him in a wreck.
Some are modified,
Today,
some are Busch, some are Cup, some are IMSA.
Hero Buckshot Jones started 26th. Jeff Burton, when he won here in 92, started 23rd. So should Buckshot hang on, this would be the deepest in the field for a NASCAR Busch Series race winner. He just kind of skating right along there.
Can't shake Casey Atwood.
No.
Casey Atwood can't get his lap back either. And we are running out of time.
22 laps to go is all.
Oh, he's got a fender up under Buckshot as they headed off turn 2 there. These 2 cars are very well pitted against each other right now. Two guys, you can take a picture of that shot because that's the future of our sport as far as Winston Cup. Later on, these 2 guys will make a big impression in that sport.
And you know, the experience, yeah, there's some difference, but not that much. This is only Buckshot's 3rd race here at New Hampshire, and very honestly, he's never done all that well. He finished 21st and 41st. And last year he had that power steering problem, got in a wreck. But there you see the ongoing battle for second place. 40 Kevin LePage, 44 Tony Stewart. MCI timing and scoring across the top of the screen. They remind you 10, 3, 2, 1. Just dial it and save up to 50%.
He doesn't have enough to go around you, so he's going to try to root you out if he can.
Yeah, he probably will. Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do.
That'd be your plan, Glenn, wouldn't it be?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm watching LePage. His car has gone away just a little bit. He's doing everything he can to keep those guys behind him and, if possible, above him. They cannot pass on the outside. So Kevin has kind of backed the field up a little bit there and let some other cars catch up. Glenn Allen, Jeff Purvis, and also Randy LaJoy now has moved around Mike McLaughlin into 6th. And those cars have all caught up, but they're all just a little bit tight, and they're having trouble making the pass. LePage doing a great job in that car of holding those guys off.
Heck, he's never even finished in the lead lap here, Kevin LePage, over the years. I mean, the best he's ever done is 9th place in 1994, but never on the lead lap until today.
You know, Doug Taylor and those guys work very, very hard on that race car, though. And it's a good race car. We're not trying to make that impression. They're just doing a superb job today. And Kevin LePage, everybody knows he's done miracles with the car caliber, good team.
In case you wonder how tough this series is, you look back at Tony Stewart and see the success that he has had. 1998, he's won in the midgets at Phoenix. He's won in Silver Crown in Phoenix. He won the IRL race at Orlando. First and second in IndyCars, leads the IndyCar points. Can't get a win in this series to save his soul. Thought he was going to win at Daytona. Really looked good at the tail end of Daytona.
Turned to the Rockingham race here on TNN when Matt Kenseth rooted him out of the way.
Yeah, he was leading going into the third turn of the last lap. And couldn't get it.
Easy in the corner.
A long way to go to win this one, though.
Of course, if he stays right where he is, it'd still be his second top 5 of the year with that second place at Rockingham.
Yep, running in third spot right now. Tony Stewart, number 44. Local hero Kevin LePage and the number 40 in front of him.
Two-time number 1 winner. Well, I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, well, that's a tough race to win.
Clear.
She's good, isn't she?
I'll jump on the
She better
camera
talk
here
fast.
for a
Tony
minute.
Stewart, you can see, taking a look on the inside as they head down the back straightaway in the turn 3. Tony has inched his way in on Kevin LePage, less than a car length now as they go down in the corner.
Smart with this lap traffic.
We got a quick break to take. We'll come back to take you to the checkered flag and see whether Buckshot Jones can pick up career win number 2. We're back on TNN in a moment. Junior, who got his lap back earlier, he's now running a solid 10.
All in the incoming tape there.
4.9 seconds behind the race leader. While you were away, Tony Stewart got that move.
It'll be another short
Around
stream
Kevin
today
LePage, ran
because
second
I've got
spot.
so much packing to
And
do.
here's how that pass
Today's a
happened going up into the corner.
on
Eli, you can see a
like,
lap car there on the
everything
inside.
needs to be
Stewart gets
done
the preferred inside
to
line
move
down the
the
back
RV.
straightaway. Once
Like
LePage
take
is
down
on the
the
outside, you see
computer
him. He knows he
and all
has
that.
to protect the bottom. He drops
So
right back down
I might
below
not be able
Stewart
to
down
stream
in the corner.
until I get to North Carolina again.
Tony Stewart in second.
Look forward to a race that we're
Page
gonna
third.
win,
Geoff
and I'm
Purvis in that
gonna
orange
be
and blue Lance machine. He's running in
I
fourth.
can't wait.
The joy is
That's
Geoff
like
Purvis,
the one I've been
second
waiting
at
to
Daytona.
see.
But the best since then, his best since then, was 15th
I've watched it
Talladega. Now, they've
actually
run
a
well,
couple
but
of
it hasn't
years
finished
ago.
well. But their average finish,
So it won't be the first time watching it, but now I'll know what to
Eli,
look
he and the
for.
74, Randy LaJoy, just behind him there, may be the 2 fastest cars on the racetrack right now. He is flying up on LePage. It's going to really be tight for LePage to hold him off.
Another story we need to remember
That
is that
for
although
Purvis,
on the lead lap is running back in
I think
16th
that's
place, and this is
the
going to
James
shuffle the
Finch
NASCAR
car,
Busch Series points
Phoenix race.
just a bit.
It does, because, I mean, Earnhardt was
They
in
still
third at the
race
start of the
today,
race. He's
so-
worked his way back into a top
With
10
Jake
finish
Finch,
right
no.
now. So,
I haven't seen
boy,
him
this thing
in a
is
bit.
really
Maybe
going to
he
be
is in
tough all
Arkansas.
year long for a guy to keep the lead in the points. Getting the lead does not
I've
seem
gotten a
tough
little
to keep
behind
it.
on all my local stuff lately because of all this move. It's been taking up most of my brain, but I was watching Race Monitor last night, and Landon Huffman had
ahead of those machines.
practiced third fastest, qualified third, ran third most of the race, and I fell asleep. And it shows he finished in the back, maybe 11th.
And even the season only Joe
So
Nemechek
I'm
would be a
thinking
repeat winner.
he had an issue.
This year. But you're right, at this racetrack, they've never
That's a
had
bummer
winner.
because that was a big paying race.
See Tony Stewart there in second, Kevin LePage in the 40 and third.
Stuff
There's
happens.
about 5 or 6 cars that are very, very, very tight in line there. This thing is going to go down to the checkered flag.
What I'm
And one
looking
slip
forward
and you
to,
can go
and
from
this is
second to
kind of
10th.
a long shot, if everything goes perfect,
Not as good as it's
it's
been.
T-minus 2 days and we leave. If everything goes perfect, Friday night I will have a little bit of a live for a couple hours. I'll do a bonfire and play music and try to hook up my song request if I can get everything up, settled, and everything. I'll do that. And then Saturday night, I'm kind of hoping, let me see.
It'll be 5 to go next time they get to the stripe for the leader.
I know on the
Jones.
13th,
You know, that's another point story right
I
there.
think it
Buckshot's
was
fifth in points.
Hickory has
Only
a
119 out of first, so things up for him as well.
final points race. I want to try to go to that
Kevin Grubb there in the 52.
before I head back south. So that's in the works, but it all matters that we get up there safe. There's no extra expenditures.
Some of these young drivers have done so well here at New Hampshire today. They've done so well all season long. I don't know if there's another series in America that's got as many young, talented drivers who are having such great years.
We'll play that by ear. I'm not good at planning ahead. It's okay to make plans, but not plan ahead. Alrighty. This is coming into the waning stages.
Tight turns.
Yep, 1,500 feet long, the straightaway. Turns are virtually flat.
You know, Casey Atwood had
It must feel almost like you're rolling off center in this track.
He would certainly have the second place car. He's been very, very fast. And you see Buckshot right now, and he looks in the mirror, all he sees is the two eyeballs of the Casey Atwood behind him there. I mean, he
Trying to
really
plan,
running
okay, the
great
stream's
race.
about
First time ever at the Speedway.
It's amazing. Youngest
that
driver in the
long,
field.
and I
There
don't
he
want to
is.
hit a commercial at the end, so I'll bang one out right now.
Hero of Nashville Speedway. They wondered if he could run any place other than Nashville. Yep.
Well, he went to Rockingham earlier this year and qualified right up front there. I mean, he's not just a
If I sound
type of young man. He
sniffly
has
and
talent
stuffy,
wherever he goes.
I kind of have like allergies to like
Buckshot Jones
dust and mold and cat hair and that.
finished fourth at Daytona.
And packing and all that is stirred up like all kinds of stuff.
Here we go, side by side. Down
I'm
the front
real
straightaway.
sniffly.
Casey Atwood trying to get back in the lead lap, and you can see Buckshot saying, hey, we're two to go, goodbye.
But I just can't wait to take you on the adventure.
Go ahead.
I've made a couple of little videos to start off with,
Probably so.
to go into
Pearson is crew chief. Buckshot Jones.
like lead up to going tomorrow.
They're coming to the white flag.
It's a
And
bummer
don't
because
leave us,
like my
folks,
yard
another
is so
whole race
beautiful,
for the
but there's
NASCAR
a
Busch
couple
North Series
plants
yet to come today
I
here on
am going to
TNN.
take,
One more mile to go.
and I'll pack them in the
Eli,
undercarriage
this is
tomorrow.
probably the most tense time in a race car that
See
a
if I
driver
can-
ever has, is when you have a good
if
lead
they'll
like this, you
survive.
don't want to do anything to give
And
the
the
race
cold
away.
up there. They should.
This would be win number 2 of the year for
Plant the
Pontiac.
roots deep enough.
Bobby Labonte won at Darlington. And the second career win for Buckshot Jones in his 67th start. A Georgian takes the checkers in New Hampshire. Buckshot Jones wins. Tony Stewart second. LePage is
Buckshot
third.
Jones wins in New Hampshire.
LaJoy will finish 5th. Glenn Allen Jr. 6th. Mike McLaughlin crosses the line in 7th. Grubb is 8th. Presley is 9th. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is 10th. And you're right, that's not how the car looked when it
Wow,
started.
we must have finished like 11th or 12th.
Buckshot Jones right now.
Last
We'll be
I
talking
looked,
to
we
him
were in
and
9th, but
bringing
they
you
were
the
shuffling
NASCAR
around,
Busch
and
North Series come out 100.
it just looked like they
All
just
yet
didn't
to
have the
come
right
today,
set. It
live
like
on TNN
I think
Motorsports.
the rule was you could only get 2 tires at a time under yellow.
Buckshot Jones atop the world. Glenn Jarrett.
Hey, come down here, buddy.
And the
Now, I
rights
know
were probably
the way that this
more.
race started on the first lap when things went all haywire there, that you didn't think you were going to get to talk to me. And it's been a long time since you visited me here in Victory Lane, buddy. Good, congratulations. Great job.
Thanks a lot. You know, yeah, we were worried there at the get-go, got in that wreck, but, you know, after we run a couple laps, the car still run great. But, you know, I got to say thanks to our sponsors, Bayer, Alka-Seltzer, Keebler, Brunswick, Pontiac, Goodyear Tires. You know, without them, you know, we wouldn't be here. But Ricky, the guys, they're the ones that deserve the credit. They got the car running good, got it back in here and got it fixed. But there's one thing I want to say to my dad, 'cause I know he's watching. Remember the deal that we made in your office? Ron Johnson, Vivian, and Angela are all there. So I'll be there Monday to pick it up.
I got a feeling, Billy, you're going to have to buy something. I don't know what it is. But talk about the race a little bit. Right there at the end, you had pretty much things the way you wanted them, except that 28 car. Good thing he was a lap down because he was really pressuring you.
Yeah, he was. I'll tell you that Casey Atwood, he's one heck of a driver. I'm glad he was a lap down because, you know, I was doing everything I could do to hold him back, and finally he got a run, and there's nothing I could do to him.
You want to tell us what Billy's going to give you when you get back?
A Harley Davidson.
Oh my goodness.
He'll be he'll be on the ride with them next year. Buckshot, congratulations. Good job today. Hope to see you again here soon.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, we'll let these guys celebrate. As you said, Eli, his second career victory. The last came in Milwaukee of 96. Is that right?
And again, yeah, July of 96 on a flat 1 mile track like this. If you're just joining us, let's go back to the very beginning of the race. This is the very start at noon Eastern. And Buckshot was involved in this mess. Watch him kick to the outside. That's him in that black 00. Tell you, that could have really, as Glenn said, could have ended his day for all intents and purposes right there.
Eli, that's incredible. He made contact on the outside wall and did not hurt the driving of the car. That's incredible.
What's the deal here? A guy just likes flat tracks? Is that a feel that a driver has?
I think it just happened that way because he's been in contention to win on many, many times. I think Buckshot's one of the rising stars here. Don't label him just a 1 mile track driver.
When we come back, more in wrapping up the Gum Out 200. Then we'll set the stage for the Gum Out 100.
I've got a little surprise for y'all. I'm going to play this.
The Gum Out 200 for the NASCAR Busch Series, the NASCAR
and
Busch
I'll
North
skip
Series cars you see
through
being gridded
the
now on pit
advertisements
road.
and stuff.
And we should be going green
But
before
this is
too
a
much
radio
longer,
show
and
my dad will
100
be
laps
on
for the Busch North Series
again. This
drivers.
is May
Towards the
now
garage
of
we
this
go
year.
now. Matt Yoakum.
Tony Stewart, another second place this year. You can woulda, coulda, shoulda racing to death. If we'd had a yellow and you
He
were
should
bunched
be on
up,
there
did you have
again
anything
in
for him?
September.
I don't know. I mean, right up toward the end, we were running about the same times as Buckshot. So, you know, we were pretty happy with the way that we finished. I just kind of wanted to make sure that I kept the 40 car behind us. But, you know, the Shell Pontiac crew did a great job today. They did a great job in the pits, gaining us some spots. And, you know, it was just a matter of trying to stay up with the racetrack all day. It seemed like the track kept getting slicker and slicker, and we just kept making changes, kept getting us going forward.
Well, another good run for the Rushville Rocket. Tonight, he heads off to the Brickyard.
Meanwhile, we'll be heading off now to bring you a tech fact brought to you by the more than 1,900 AutoZone stores across America.
See what y'all got? We got to do, like, lug everything back.
Story.
Everybody got a job. It's crazy. Tech fact.
For the past couple of weeks, all we've heard about in the NASCAR Busch Series and Winston Cup Series are shock absorbers. New rules at Talladega. Well, I'll tell you, shock absorbers are awfully important at Loudon, New Hampshire as well. Gene Need, who is the crew chief on the number 10 Duraloop Chevrolet, is going to show us how the shock dyno works. Every team has one. Gene, tell us about this thing.
All right, what we can do is we can change pistons, shim stacks for rebound compression. We change rebound compression on the shock. When we get all done changing them, we want to be able to take and test the thing, simulate how it's going to work on a race car. So what we do is we take and put it on our shock dyno, we run the thing, and we can look at a graph, tell how the shock works, see if we want to make any adjustments or try it or whatever we want to do. So that's pretty much what we do with it, and we use it every day.
This little piece of equipment right here at about $15,000.
That made me just change my mind. I'm going to play my shock dyno videos for you.
Indeed, the story is shocks as Glenn Jarrett fills us in with the assistance of Gene Need.
Okay,
well, quite a show for Buckshot Jones on the NASCAR Busch Series.
Pause that. That's over. We will put this on, and when it gets near the end of some of this, they're all little second clips. I took this spring in my dad's shop, and the little one in between with us building a shock at Daytona Speedway, how we do it right there at the track, is just kind of a slideshow for like a minute. So anyway, enjoy this, and I will sign out.
That's compression.
Compression. 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And this is rebound.
Yeah.
That's 100 also. So
yeah,
this is
like a 50-50.
50-50 shock.
Yeah.
And the little valves, you can see the little hole that you were turning with the little Allen wrench.
Yeah. And then this one here was the other adjustment.
And that's the adjustment for the fluid in the compression.
Compression side, yeah.
And that one was the rebound adjustment.
See, now I'm going to slow this down.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it. See, like if you're just driving around the track and you're not up to speed or anything, this is about what the driver feels. The driver feels this and he feels that. See, that's got less rebound now.
Yeah.
That I slowed it down.
I see that.
So when they're driving along and they steer it back and forth and letting the scrubbing their tires to warm them up.
Yeah.
This is what you would normally see if you had some way of gauging it.
Gauging the shock. How come that one dropped at a slower pace? Because it's not pushing it through as fast.
Correct.
Okay, I just got it. It just like clicked in my head.
Yeah, when you slow it way down, it's very little going. See, it's not, when you crank it up, it really changes. See, that's barely moving now. But that's all the force you got when you, say when you go to put that shock on, you can easily compress it to put it on the car.
Yeah, yeah. It's just when it's under quick
you're right.
response.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for sitting through this with me, and thank you for watching in VOD. I upload all these from Twitch to YouTube, and it is where I keep all of this stuff for my own personal knowledge and notes and referrals back when it has to do with Dad and his history and the book I'm writing. So go over to YouTube. That'll have a link to Substack where I'm doing my writing. And I'll see you on the next one. I think we win it. Bye, y'all. Peace out.